See, right, we are live. We are broadcasting live, hopefully on Facebook, our Facebook group, and we're also broadcasting live on the YouTube channel. Right, I want to say hi to everybody. So please introduce ourselves. Yeah. Right. I want to say hi to everybody.
Somebody's got a Facebook page open.
Yeah.
Or a YouTube page, rather.
Has someone got their Facebook page open?
It might be me. Let me have a look. I'll be back in a second.
That wasn't me.
That was you.
Oh, John's disappeared, so he's just clicked something. So hopefully
There you
John
go.
will come back. That might have been me, by the way, going there. So everybody watching us, I want to say hello. Today we're talking about the future of cruising solo, and we have myself from the UK. I'm in Buckinghamshire. Jonathan, please introduce yourself.
I'm John. I'm from Manchester. I used to be from Buckinghamshire.
So we were neighbours.
And I'm now and I work for Cruise Holidays UK.
Fantastic. And we have John, the other John, for the United States. Please say hi.
Hello, everybody. My name is John Reitmeyer, and for this, you might as well call me JR through this, or else we're going to be John'd up here. So just call me JR. And I am from the middle of the United States in northwestern Minnesota, where I'm happy to announce that as of yesterday, there is no snow.
Sweet.
Snow? What's that? We had snow this winter.
Well, if you read the Bible, they call it manna in the Bible. They call it manna from heaven, and it went away yesterday. So.
And last but not least, Chili, please introduce yourself.
Hey, I'm Chili Falls, Chili's Cruises from a little town in Bedford County, Virginia called Forest, right outside of Lynchburg. And I'm just a cruise nut. Love to cruise.
So whoever is out there watching, I said we're live on the Facebook group. We're live on YouTube. If you're on the Facebook group, please comment. Please let us know. Please say hi, and we can talk to you. And if you're watching on YouTube, please comment and please say hi. And if anybody wanted to join us on screen as well, there was a link in the comments on YouTube to do that. And there's also a link in the Facebook group to do that. Sadly, we were going to have Emma from the Solo Cruise Club joining us live today, but she is here watching. Now, anybody watching us last time, Emma was in her bunny outfit, which was fantastic. So we really enjoyed that. And she runs Solo Cruise Club, and I'm sure she's got lots of questions and lots of things. So if you have a question talking about the future of solo cruising, please ask us. We're going to, and Emma has said hi. If I click there, Emma has said hi. Now, just to let you know, when we're on YouTube, it doesn't tell us who on Facebook is talking to us. It just says Facebook user. And we can tell, yes, Emma is there. She says hi. If you have a question about the future of cruising, please ask the question, and we will try to give our opinions about it. Yeah. Now, I'm going to go to my first question, which I'm going to post on here. Let me have a look at it. Right. If I do that. Now, guys, it'd be really interesting to see what you all think. And please comment as well. Now, do you think cruising solo will either benefit or it will lose out on the availability next year? So I'm talking about, do you think that there'll be so much availability that cruise lines are going to go, wow, we're going to do all these kind of great cruises for solos? Or do you think there won't be availability? And so we'll find it really hard because there'll be no single supplements. Please let us know what you think.
Well, I got an answer for that. I think it's going to be better for us. But we have the largest growing demographic in cruising today, the solo cruisers. And I think they're going to start realizing that they want to go after our business. So I think it's going to be better in the long run.
Tazia Travel, hi, you're watching on YouTube. If you've got any questions, please let us know. I guess you're in the travel industry, so I'd be lovely to hear your point of view as well. And as I said, anybody wants to join us live on screen, there are links there. It's very easy. Just click the link and follow what you have to do. Jonathan in the UK, travel agency.
Right. I actually think it's going to benefit the single traveller. For the reasons already given, but it's also that I think there'll be a better choice of cabins. I don't think they will. Whereas with Norwegian, if you go into the studio cabins, they're all inside. I think we're going to see fewer inside cabins, so we might get a better choice of outsides and balconies being more available to the single traveller.
It's interesting, John, because Texas Wildcat has just said that I think maybe that'd be better. They want to keep the passenger count down, which they will do with solo travellers, and a 50% supplement. I think it might be less. That's very interesting.
Yeah, I think the prices will come down, or we will see value being added. So we might find more drinks packages being included rather than totally, what's the word I'm looking for? Just the basics. I think they're going to be trying to encourage us.
Be interesting to see what John thinks in Minnesota. What do you think, John? Do you think it's going to?
Well, I think it's great to be positive and everything like that, but I think if you're really hard reading what's happening, both politically and legally and legislatively here, I know that before the show, John in the UK was talking about a cruise a year and some out, a year August, and maybe then. But I really have doubts about that. And let me just give you some of the reasons why. I mean, right now, the CDC has said, they absolutely have a full stop on any cruises till into July. And there's nothing that's going to change medically between now and July. There's just nothing that's going to happen. Right now, it's very interesting in the United States and Chile in the upper. Are there? I'm not sure which direction you are from me. Here, Chile, that's going to go away after one ring here. 3, 2, 1, go. There. That's my systems coming online at 2:00 here in the United States.
Alarm clock.
And so, but what's going to happen is right now there was a meme yesterday. It came out and said, "Wow, wouldn't it be something in England if all the people said, no, I've decided I've been cooped up long enough and I'm going to start turning my lights on," back in World War II. But that's what's happening in the United States. People are just deciding, I don't know anybody that's sick from this thing. I don't know anybody this, that, or the other, and they're just going out and they're ignoring this. And we are going to have a big hit. We're still going up where I live in Minnesota. The numbers are still going up. They're going up and up and up. We have not even hit what you've seen in the news that New York has hit. And so when it's coming around to the cruise ships, or at least the cruise ships that are docking in the United States, where you're talking about people in the cabins like we're talking about, and the non-existent buffets that certainly are going to be in our future for a while, I'm telling you that let's talk about the long-range future, because I just don't see it. I don't see that they're going to let any Americans, unless you're going to sneak out like we used to do, go to Cuba. If anybody knows about that, or I'll tell you about that. But Americans had to go to Canada or some other place to fly to Cuba until Obama opened it up finally. But other than that, Americans couldn't go to Cuba. We had to go somewhere else and then fly to Cuba. And that's what it's going to have to be here. I predict we're going to have to go somewhere else to get on a cruise ship. And we can get 2 passports. I don't know if you know that either. In America, I can carry 2 passports. And the reason is I can get a second passport. So for instance, I could go into, if I'm a Jewish person, but I'm traveling, I could go into the non-friendly Jewish countries on a second passport and then not show that when I'm in the Jewish friendly countries. Yeah. Well, now it's going to be, you're going to have 2 passports because you're not going to show that you got on a cruise ship somewhere. And oh no, I just visiting my family in Germany. Nice, quiet trip. stayed there in Berlin the whole time. I didn't get anywhere near the big. Oh, I'm scared to fly to water. That's what I'm predicting. And I'm sad to bring you this news, but I think we need to really look at this logically.
That's interesting. A few shout outs. Facebook user Cynthia, who went live with us last time, says hi. Again, you know how to join us. If you want to join us live, feel free. There's a link there to join us live. I'm hoping that Tim from Norwegian Cruise Line, my Norwegian Cruise Line consultant, he's in Malta. So Tim, if you're watching this, please say hi. Let us know you're there. And I have my friends in Gozo. I'm hoping you know who you are. I'm hoping you're watching as well. Again, if you're watching, please say hi. That way we know you're there. So, John, that's interesting. Do you think there'd be cruise passports then, as such?
Well, that's what they're talking about now, is that just in America, you're going to get a separate kind of a passport that says you're virus clean or clear, that you're past it. And now you can go out and interact with people. Of course, other people are saying that's going back to the Nazi passport kind of thing. Everything has got ties to it. You know, there's all this history that may be right or wrong. I make no favoring of it one way or another, but everything has got some kind of bad historical thing tied to it. Almost like getting microchips in your thumb.
Jonathan, do you think?
I think there's going to be a shift as well. Because the cruise industry in America, I can see a lot more of the ships coming over and being based in the UK, in Europe, places like Australia, because I think there is going to be a shift away from it being an American-centric industry to being a little bit more international.
Jonathan, just introduce yourself to whoever's watching this as well. You cruise normally with a very special person, don't you? Could you tell everyone who you normally cruise with?
Well, I cruise with 3 special people, or 2 of them have 4 legs. I have a canine partner assistance dog, and her name is Georgia. She's just done her first big cruise. We went round Ireland. She wasn't very impressed that I sailed out of Miami and didn't take her. She does love Miami. And my partner, he's got a guide dog, and we called him the old sea dog because he gets everywhere. He's been on a couple of the ship launches. He was the first assistance dog on the Harmony of the Seas, and he was also the first seeing guy in America, guide dog in the UK, to go on the Royal Princess as well, which was his first ship. Wow. And he absolutely loved it because he was rubbing shoulders with Mickey Harrison, who still owes him a teddy bear. Mickey Harrison, if you're watching, Bruno is not happy that he hasn't got his Cunard and his Royal Princess teddy bears that you promised him.
There we go. They're hopefully watching. Pam Wheatley, Hive, arriving late. Hi, Pam. We have Angie Kinley from Atlanta. Hi, Angie. And we have Sandart from the United States of America as well. Please, if you've got a question, ask the question. We will try to answer it. We're the kind of Cruise Amigos. That's what we call ourselves. This is our first live broadcast as the Cruise Amigos. Yeah, I'm confused. A question, guys.
I do apologise about my my Filipino rum here.
Guys,
quick.
Jonathan and myself are in the UK, and as you can see, alcohol. Our friends in the United States, where are you? Where's your alcohol? What's going on here? John, question.
What are you drinking, Chili?
It's bourbon and Diet Coke.
Oh,
Elijah Craig bourbon and Diet Coke. I know that's a weird mixture, but that's what I do.
Pounds for
I
no.
just thought you'd have been drinking Jack Daniels.
The
John,
Jack Daniels I use to disinfect things. I spray it around and wipe surfaces with my Jack Daniels.
John, can you show us your bourbon that you got, your drink that you got for everybody, please? There we go. I'm not going to comment. You know what I mean. Everyone knows what I mean. Yeah. We got.
The K is silent.
Send me the Zoom. Justin, we're not on Zoom. Justin, there is a link, by the way, Justin. Yeah, there is a link on the Facebook group. So you go to the Facebook group, and you'll see the StreamYard link. It's on there. If you click that, you can join us live as well. Justin is in Minnesota. I cruised with Justin on the inaugural Encore from Southampton to New York. So that's where it is. Right. Question for Chile, actually, to start off with.
Yes.
Now, do you think there should be more single supplement cruises to help kickstarting cruising?
Yes.
It sounds like John in the UK has already got one. So,
well, when I started solo, I just started solo last year. Was my first solo cruise. Now I've been cruising since Christopher Columbus. I've been cruising forever. I started I think my first cruise was in '78. So I've been doing this a long time. But I just started solo this past year, and the only information I could have as a total newbie was Norwegian. So I started looking for Norwegian. Since then, I've done Norwegian a couple times. I've also done a Holland America, which was my first experience on Holland America, and I did another Carnival, which I didn't get a solo supplement. But I loved the Holland American. Again, I'm a little older than most of you guys. I'm in my 70s.
that's true.
So I really liked the Holland America. That was my style. It was all old folks like me, pretty much. But I've talked to Holland America. I started talking with my contact there. Oh, it's been about 6 weeks ago now. And I made a presentation to them on why they need to look at the solo cruising demographic and using the hammer. Basically, when we get started cruising again, they're going to need new business because they've lost a lot of their old business. And a lot of people are going to be afraid to get on ships again. So I said, look, go after the demographic of solo cruises. Do something like Norwegian does with the supplements, and they have their own studio cabins that they offer on some of the ships. I said, make a good reason for solo folks to book with you, other than charging us double the price.
Yeah,
and I think you'll get a good response.
Now,
and I said, so you set up something every night. You have a solo meet and greet. That's more business in your bar.
And Chile, we're going to drink. Angie has said that she's noticed that cruise prices for next year are much higher.
I do apologise. I've just been invaded by a four-legged sailor.
Well, that's okay.
Prices will be lower for singles to get more on a cruise, because do you know what? Angie's correct. The prices have definitely 100% are a lot higher for next year. I think they're just trying to reset everything, but it is stopping people booking cruises at the moment. So, what do you think?
Well, I think eventually they've got to start cutting prices. And Emma's exactly right. They have definitely gone up on the surface. If you look real carefully at some places, you can find some real bargains. But for the most part, they're high, and they shouldn't be, because they're going to have to start. They're going to have to start cutting prices.
John, what do you think in America?
I think there's a couple of really good cruise lines that are in the UK who do a lot for singles. Three that I think of immediately are Saga, if we're over 50, which I think we all are. Sorry, Peter. I didn't mean to. As I say, Saga is very solo friendly. Also, I always look at a small cruise line called Cruise and Maritime. I don't know whether you ever see them in America. They are very single friendly as well. And the other one is our good old friends at Fred Olsen, and they very often do no single supplements. So, those are three that I would immediately think of, as well as Norwegian, who anybody who knows me knows I am a big Norwegian cruise line fan. I rate them highly, but there are some no single supplements out there. It's just a case, as Chili said, looking and seeing if we can spot them. I've noticed over the last week or so, some of the prices are beginning to come down, and it's just a case of really searching. I was going to do a quick plug for my website there, but I'm not going to do that bad.
No, John, plug away.
Yeah.
I've only just started putting on a whole new set of offers. It's www.silverservicecruises.co.uk, or people can go onto my Facebook page, which is John Fletcher without the H. It's Jon Fletcher at Cruise. I'll say that again. John Fletcher of Cruise Holidays UK. I've got a Facebook page there, and a lot of the deals go on. Got some really good deals coming through at the moment.
We have a few travel agents as part of the group. We all know Emma from Solo Cruise Club, who comes here regularly, and she's commenting, but we can't see her. She's on the Facebook. So Emma from Solo Cruise Club as well, who's out there, which is fantastic. I want to ask John in America. John, in America, do you think the prices are really too high at the moment?
Oh, I think they're incredibly high, and I think that every cruiser together, solo, family, couples, everybody should just stop buying for a little while. I think that everybody's looking around and thinking the deals are coming now. We got to send a message that the little trick that they're doing right now is they're giving you 125% cruise credit, but a year from now, most of the prices are up 130 to 150%.
Yeah.
It's so like, oh yeah, we'll give you 120. When my ship, I don't believe the Epic's going to go here on the transatlantic from Barcelona to Puerto Rico in the fall. You and I are on that together, and I don't think it's going to go. But I'm waiting it out to see what they're going to give for cruise credit. But I think I'm going to take my money back because I think that's going to serve me better with cold hard cash rather than cruise credit when it comes time to rebook. That's my personal philosophy, because I think they're playing a game with this. And Norwegian, and I'm a fanboy. You guys know this, but John, I'm a fanboy of Norwegian. Being in the travel agency business and with some BDMs, business development managers in Norwegian, they just think of me as the fanboy flag carrier for Norwegian. But I'm telling you, Norwegian right now is really not very favored in the United States, and that's because there's a lot of Americans on Norwegian ships that we're not letting into the country because they are not. They're not doing their side to prep them to come into the country. A, B, they're massing. They're out on their K, their Stirrup K, or the island that Norwegian has, and they're massing the ships together and loading them up to take. You're going to the Philippines. You're going this way. You're going that way to try and take these people home with no regard to the virus that may or may not be traveling through these ships. They're just loading these ships up and trying to get the people home, and the reports coming off the ship. And this is not just Norwegian, but this could have been a time that Norwegian could have shined. And I'm really unhappy with them. I'm very dissatisfied that what I consider my pride of the ocean is not standing up like I would like them to.
Wow, that's interesting. I want to say hi to Chris, by the way, who's watching. So Chris Cannon from the UK. Chris Cannon's a friend of mine, and he's an award-winning blogger with Tottenham Football Club, by the way. He's won the top awards, so he's a fantastic guy, and he's watching as well in the UK. That's really interesting. Right, I want to go back to my next question, because you talked about the transatlantic, John, because we are booked on the transatlantic. That's where we met on the Norwegian transatlantic, the Epic, going to from Barcelona. And do you think that transatlantics are a good way to start cruising as for solos? So if you haven't cruised solo before, what do you guys think? I'm going to start off with Jonathan in the UK first of all. I'll ask Jonathan that question first of all. Have you cruised on a transatlantic before, Jonathan?
Yes. I'm going to be very posh now. The last time I cruised on did the transatlantic, I did the Queen Mary 2 in Queen's Grill.
That's very posh.
I have to, and my table mate was actually a lady who was the mum of Elon Musk.
Nice.
So, yes, yeah. The other thing that I remember about that cruise was well, the other thing I can remember about that cruise was getting into the lift one night, and a guy got in, and he got a beautiful pair of shoes on, and I looked down at these shoes, and I'm thinking they're nice, you know. And I suddenly looked up at the guy, and it was like seeing a ghost, because the guy just looked like John Lennon. And I just suddenly realized then that I was actually in the lift with Julian Lennon, John Lennon's son. So
you've got a few claims to fame, haven't you, Jonathan? You really do. I'm really impressed.
But for me, a transatlantic is absolutely, you know, it's a way to go. It particularly with Cunard, because it's 7 days of just relaxing. You're not rushing anywhere. You can get up when you want. You can go to bed when you want. You're not having to rush for any excursions, and you get to meet, like I said, some fantastic people. Particularly, you know, if you're sharing tables, you know, it's well worth it. You know, I've done the Queen's Grill, but I've also done Britannia, and Britannia is just as good. It's from the experience side of things, and you know, particularly with Cunard, you've got so much to do and see. You know, you've got planetariums, you've got the dog kennels up on top deck, because it's the only cruise line it's the only cruise ship that actually has its own kennels. And Georgia, my little assistant dog, would love it, because all the dogs on the Queen Mary 2 do actually get, believe it or not, home-baked biscuits. So she'd be very happy with that.
Can I just apologize, by the way, because we have Cynthia and we have Justin joining us live.
Thank you for putting me on hold for 10 minutes.
So we have them. I didn't realize I had to scroll down. I didn't see you were waiting there. I scrolled down and there you are. So Justin, please say hello. You're in Minnesota.
I'm in Minnesota. You guys were driving me crazy because I couldn't talk, and so many things I wanted to correct or give a different viewpoint. First of all, the whole solo community, I hate the phrase solo supplement. It's not a supplement. You go to a hotel room, you buy the room. That's what you're doing on a cruise. If you look at Norwegian's financials, their expenses are their staff, their fuel, you know, and I mean, everything else is not really the additional cost for a person. It doesn't really exist.
Yeah.
So you're buying the room, you're paying for this giant ship.
Justin, I agree with you. Now, just to let you know about it, I said I sailed with Justin on the Norwegian Encore, and Justin was the party man of the whole cruise, if you ask me. You know, and Cynthia, Please say hi.
my role. You know, I realized my role in life is I started the dance party.
Yeah.
It's just what happens.
You part. If Justin's there, you party. Cynthia, please say hello.
Hey, how's it going?
Hey.
Hi, Cynthia.
Cynthia, come on, Cynthia, welcome back.
Thank you. Sorry I missed you guys last week.
Yeah, have you got a note, Cynthia?
Did you guys do that thing?
Cynthia's in New York. That's correct, isn't it?
No, I'm in Arizona.
Arizona.
Oh,
Yeah.
what do I New York? Oh, I'm sorry, I'm getting completely confused now. Do you know why, Cynthia? I'm drinking my sherry, and it doesn't take many sherries to kind of get me going. Emily Archer, that's lovely.
Emily's the one in New York, Pete.
Can I tell you why I think cruising solo is one of those wonderful things you can do? I'm just going to click on that. Now that is the people that we met on the Epic. You see me there in the white. Oh no, you meet so many people. I click on this one, another one. You know, that's in the studio cabin. They're the reasons why cruising solo is such an incredible thing to do, is that you get to meet so many people.
You know, the Epic was my first cruise ever. I went on a solo. I had a balcony solo, and I didn't know about the solo group much, so I missed out on that. The reason they always had the solo meetings scheduled at the same time as the dance class.
Yeah. So we're asking this question about, let's get to it. This is the question, yeah? Chile, what do you think? No single supplement on cruises next year?
I think there will be. I don't think there's going to be as much change as we'd like to see. I think they're going to have to go after the business. They're going to have to give some bargains. They're going to have to do all the things to attract more business. But to get to the point of there would be no single supplement cruises, no, I'm not going to go that far.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
What do you think, Cynthia?
I don't think they can afford to not charge double, or at least 150%, because they've got fixed costs that they've got to cover, and they've really been hurting. What you guys haven't talked about, I'm going to just kind of throw something in there, is that the airlines are also part of this equation, and the airlines are not being nice to us. For those of it, I had 2 cruises canceled. I'm out money, and they're giving me a voucher for an airfare that flight that I missed, and now they're going to cancel flights to Phoenix. So it's like, great, thanks. So I've got 2 trips that are canceled, and it's hard for me to get excited about trying to book another one when I am out so much money right now. I mean, they've refunded maybe 15% of what I'm out. That's about what I've got back. And I already know I'm going to lose at least 500, maybe more, between the airfare and the trip insurance and all of that. So, wow. Yeah. And that means there's all these other people like me that are in the same boat. And we're the ones that were. I'm sorry?
We wish we were.
Oh, right. Yeah. But anyway, that's my 2 cents. I think that the airlines are going to have to start playing nice, because they're going to hurt the cruise industry.
That's interesting. Jonathan in the UK, yeah? You managed to get a decent price on a cruise with Princess Cruises. That was the first company I cruised with. They don't have solo cabins, but you've got a great deal cruising in the peak of summer in August next year from Southampton to Norway and back, including the drinks, including everything else. Are you starting to see some better deals from companies like Princess that don't normally cater for cruisers, solo cruisers?
I am. To be honest with you, I'm finding at the moment, because took all. I'll be honest with you. I took all the deals off for the first 4 weeks of the of the UK lockdown, because I just got the feeling that there was so much anger. But as anybody who's seen Cruise for Solos will know, I stick out all my blog articles, and it's the blog articles have actually increased the interest, for me. And now I've got to the stage where this week I've actually started to put offers back onto the site, and I'm being very careful that I'm not putting anything for 2020, and you said 2019 then, 2020, purely because it is so up in the air.
I agree.
But 2021, I think there are the offers out there. It's a case of really, trawling. I spend probably 8 hours a day, 7 days a week. We were laughing earlier that I very rarely take a day off, and I actually took an afternoon off today to do some gardening, and I still managed to get a good deal onto the website. So,
Jonathan, Justin,
they are out there.
Justin, a question for you, Justin, because you're a cruiser. You don't run a travel agency, anything like that, What do you want to see as a cruiser?
Say that again. You're breaking up sometimes.
What do you want from the cruise lines for next year that will get you back cruising again?
I just want traveling to open up, but I'll be on board. So everything is really expensive right now. I'll give you a hint. I don't know if you've booked cruises before, but never book in advance. Book last minute always, and you get the best deal. Boom. For the whole COVID thing, I had a transatlantic cruise canceled, and Norwegian said they'd issue a refund, within 90 days. So I just called my credit card company and disputed the charge, and I got the money back and all the interest I paid on the charge since then. I don't really book hotels in advance. I don't do anything in advance. I have no flight to worry with. I mean, it's a little different for me.
Justin, I do the opposite. I book way in advance, and I find I get great deals doing the opposite way, because I have to organise flights, and I use flights. I use flying miles to get the best deals, basically.
Good. How much? So you get good deals, Pete. How much did you pay for the Encore?
I probably paid a bit more than you did, actually, because I was booked on it when it was going to Miami. To be honest with you. Yeah. A question for John. I
booked it in March or February. No. That was in the fall. So I booked that in September.
I've got a question. Justin, thank you. I've got a question for John in the United States. Sandar has said that Norwegian have removed a meal from their speciality dining already. Do you think that they're going to sneak in all these different removals so you don't get such a great deal anymore? What do you think?
Well, I agree with that. I mean, I don't take any. I don't even buy the drinks package anymore, even though because I've now quit drinking. But even when I was drinking,
you got bourbon.
No. That was a Christmas gift, and look at this. I got it for Christmas. It was full, and look at it now.
It evaporated.
I don't drink. Yeah, the angel share. That's right.
I don't drink either.
But anyway, but to go from a sail away fare up to where you get free booze, and then they add on the sales tax and the service charge for the free booze. That's a lot of drinking, one drink at a time, like Chili said earlier. And maybe it's that I'm just getting old now, but I just do not need to drink that much. I could drink all that I wanted, and I still saved a lot of money from going from a sail away fare up to the free perks, because the other free perks didn't mean anything to me. To get $200 credit against shore excursions, I booked with Shore Tours. I like Shore Tours. They have little mini, you're in a van with 6 other people rather than in a diesel smoking bus with 52 other people. The meals, I can go buy a meal for $40 if I want an upcharge. I don't need to have 5 of them where there's rules on the what you can do. So
Okay.
to me, the way to save money is to get that sail away deal rather, that's down at the bottom. I've
Yeah.
never gotten a bad room from that. Maybe it's my status. I have the second from the highest status with Norwegian, but I've never gotten a bad balcony. My balconies always end up being a midship high cabin. So that's the way, to me, I get the best deal.
Cynthia, what would you like to see from the cruise lines to make you want to book a cruise again next year?
Well, I'd like to get my money back so that I have money to spend on a cruise. I feel so melancholy about this because I was really, really looking forward to these trips. I've only been on one cruise. This was supposed to be my year, right? And I booked last minute. So I paid all this money in December and February, and then they kept it. So, but anyway, I understand all that. So I guess, I don't think the cruise line can entice me. I think I need to see something happen in the medical community before I'm going to feel safer. I don't think we understand enough about this virus. And I don't think enough of the world has been infected with it yet. So, if we hit 60-70% and we have that herd immunity, then hey, I'm really there. I'll be back be looking to cruise again. But
we haven't even come close to 10% of that, they're telling us, yet in America. 10-15% of herd immunity. And so I'm stuck here in my little farm, and I'm happy with that. I'm blessed that I can, I have the wherewithal my income continues to run, unlike other people. Ronnie is just in town, my son now, going to the grocery store and safely buying all my needs. But I get that, but we don't, you just hit it right on the nose. We just don't know.
There's too much.
Question, by the way, Pam talked about what about internet packages, which is a very interesting question, Pam. My feeling, guys, I don't know what you all think. I actually think it won't be long before internet packages are just part of the deal. It's just Wi-Fi you don't have to pay for. That's what I think will happen, Pam. I think they're going to have to go it that way because we're all online anyway. What do you think, Jonathan in the UK? What do you think?
So can I mention something about the internet packages? So the internet packages are, because someone says, what are they, or what the details are. Currently, they are 250 free minutes or a credit. You can take the cash for that and apply it towards the bigger package, because I always get the bottomless package because I do business and social media, etc. But I think long term, those are going to go away. But I think for the next few years, they're still going to be a thing. I'll go back to your assertion earlier that they need to go and focus on a younger crowd. I'm talking to Peter, and I agree with that. I think the cruising, at least with Norwegian, is kind of perfect for millennials because you have this, that, and the other thing to distract you and do whatever you want all the time. And I think it's the perfect vacation for a millennial who are even younger than me. I'm an exennial. And I just think that the cruise industry has a reputation for being for old people. And that's I don't think that's appropriate.
That's interesting. I've got a question. I agree with you, Justin. I think more younger people will start cruising. Jonathan in the UK. Jonathan in the UK. Sandart has just mentioned. Did you see? Because you might know as a travel agent. Did anyone on the panel see the celebrity health form, which was posted on YouTube recently? Jonathan in the UK. Did you see it?
Okay. There's been a lot of debate about Royal Caribbean and celebrity and this health form. it's caused a lot of heartache and upset. And I was actually talking to Ben Baldwin, who is the managing director or vice president, I suppose he is his official title, of Royal Caribbean. And I actually put this question to him. The form now that if you've got a disability like myself, you've always had to fill in a what they call a special needs form. I think it's going to be more general that if that they are going to ask people to be honest about medical conditions. And I've always said, be upfront. If you've got a long-term medical condition, tell them, because then they can do something about it. But the interesting thing is when I put the question to Ben Baldwin is because, like many people will have seen, there's been horror stories. Oh, they're not going to let people with chronic illnesses go on to cruise ships. CLIA and CDC they've actually now said that that is not necessary. However, things may change and they may have to bring it back in. I personally think it'll put off a lot of people if they do it. I think people have to be sensible. If like my partner has, he has medication which lowers his immunity. At the current time, I wouldn't suggest he sail. In a year's time, yes, but not at the height of of the situation that we're facing at the moment. So
it's a difficult one, isn't it? It really is a difficult one. I've got a question for Chile. Chile, this is interesting because I was on Virgin Voyages. I got invited to be an overnight in Dover on the new Scarlet Lady, and then she hasn't sailed since, which is typical of me. But Sandart has said that they believe the main cruise lines are waiting to see how the Virgin Voyages goes with heading towards younger people. If they make money, they may well follow the same way. Chili, what do you think? Do you think that's the case?
Well, I think Virgin Voyage is going in after a totally different demographic than we've seen in cruising. One, at least for now, it's too expensive for me. I mean, I don't necessarily have to go on a cheap cruise, but they're pretty stout pricing. And I think Virgin's going after a different demographic than the cruise lines have seen. Maybe that'll help them in the long run, but who knows? I mean, they still haven't been able to get started. So, they got to get started first.
Question, Justin, would you cruise with Virgin Voyages? Is that a cruise line that you're thinking you're the youngest member of our panel, I would say, with Cynthia. So do you think Virgin Voyages is a cruise line that you'd be interested in cruising with?
I definitely think it would be. It is more expensive. So I'll note I am 35. So Virgin Voyages is obviously going through a different demographic, and that's kind of the point. I mean, their Scarlet Lady ship got kind of some rough reviews, and that's because it's not meant for the reviewers, and they're not budging on that. They're saying this is what we do. If you like it, come join us. If you don't, go sail on your Royal Caribbean.
I think you're right, actually. Cynthia, what do you think? Would you be interested in going with Virgin Voyages?
Well, you saw my comments when you were posting your videos and pictures. It didn't look like a really comfortable ship to me. You tell me, was it comfortable or was it really hard? Everything was like I don't know. It just didn't look comfortable to me. So
it's interesting because I wasn't on it long enough to completely judge because it was quite chaotic. I was running around like a headless chicken trying to get to video the solo cabin, and I failed. Could you believe? I was trying to video so much to show what it was like. I got onto top deck very quickly before the massive storm hit Dover, so you couldn't really tell. I was shocked how tiny the pool was. I've got to say that the jacuzzi is bigger than the pool on the Scarlet Lady. I think they got that wrong. It's hard to say. I couldn't judge it properly in a day. I know Emma from Cruising Isn't Just for Old People. She put out a video which went viral, and it went viral because she was giving her honest opinion on what she thought about it, and I can't judge myself. I'd have to cruise on it in the sunnier weather to get a much better idea. To be completely honest with you.
Yeah.
Emma was not cheery.
One question, by the way. Emma from Solo Cruise Club. This is for. I think this is for John in the States. I think RCL and MCU will build more solo cabins. What do you think? Emma from Solo Cruise Club says that. What do you think?
Oh, I think she's right. I mean, I think it's a huge market, but I think that huge market is BV, before the virus. Now everything has changed. Now we are in AV, after virus. So everything, the rules are thrown away, and we just don't know yet. We are in the chaos yet. So to sit and speculate right now is just, it's fun to talk about it, but we're just in a transition here, and until this shakes out and we see what confidence, like right now, they don't know about opening up Las Vegas, because even if they open it up, every survey they've taken is that 85% of the people say they will not go to Las Vegas and gamble at this moment.
Wow. Guys, gang, I want to say a massive thank you, by the way, to everyone who's watching on YouTube, who's watching on Cruises for Solos. Cruising Isn't Just for Old People. Wherever you're watching, thank you for doing that. I also want to say a massive thank you to everybody who's taken part in this. And I'd like to ask everybody one by one that if you could give any advice to someone who's thinking of cruising solo for next year, please could you tell me what that advice would be? I'm going to start at the very top, which with Chili. So Chili, what would your advice be for anyone who's thinking of cruising solo next year?
Well, I'm just going to use something that I wanted to mention and didn't get a chance during the broadcast. Speaking of Emma from Solo Cruise Club, because I started watching some of her stuff, and quite frankly found some interesting information for solos that I wasn't aware of, and in particular about MSC. One of the things to look at in your consideration of ships to go on is the MSC line. I've never sailed them, folks. I'm not saying that because of experience, but they do some decent packages for solos. So I would put that on the research list. I know it's on mine, and that's because of Emma. And Emma, thank you a bunch for that information I got from you.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for that. That's really great information. Jonathan, what would your advice be for anyone who's thinking of cruising solo next year?
Do your homework. As Chili just said, you check around, look at some of the blogs, check out some of the cruise lines, and check some of the cruise lines that you may not have thought of. I mentioned a couple earlier, your Fred Olsons, your Cruise Maritime Voyages. They may be smaller ships, they may be older ships, but they offer some great itineraries, and they are very. The other one I would suggest is, if you're an older person like myself, Saga, because they offer some fantastic itineraries, and you can get some really good deals as well, and they really do look after their single passengers.
Thank you so much for that, Jonathan. I totally understand that. I totally agree. Justin, I clicked on the wrong one. I'm going to go. So sorry. I'm trying to produce at the same time. I'm not doing a great job. Justin, you
Okay,
please
sorry.
tell me what would your advice be for anyone thinking of booking the solo cruise next year?
I mean, my perspective is a good one because, well, I mean, I don't really plan much when I travel. I just do it. But I would say, a few things. One is make sure you go on a solo friendly cruise line. Not for the price, but just for the solo community. The solo group with NCL is very important. Two, I find the bigger the ship, the better. You have more solos, you have more stuff to do. Because a lot of the ships that are geared more towards couples, I mean, I personally don't. This might be a surprise. I don't relax much by myself. So an NCL cruise with a lot of activities is very essential for me, and the fact that it has a strong solo community. Um, so I would say that'd be probably my biggest tips. If you go on a big ship on a transatlantic cruise, those are awesome. So put it on your bucket list if you haven't thought about it.
Thank you, Justin. That's really, really great advice. Cynthia, what would your advice be for anyone thinking of booking solo cruising?
So for the trips this year, what I did is I booked my trips right when the deposits were due for everybody else, so about 60 days before the sale date. And then I got on in one case there somebody had already set up a Facebook page, and on the other one I set up a Facebook page and start networking. You can meet some really lovely people just that way. I haven't gone on Norwegian, which I really would like to, because they're the only cruise line that I think has a single program. But if you're just going to go for a vacation and you don't mind if you're meeting couples or singles or whatever, you can meet a lot of really, really nice people on Facebook. I'm still talking to some people that I met. So
yeah, that's a really good call. Going on Facebook, especially the group beforehand, is a really good way of doing it. John, what would your advice be?
Well, first of all, Chile, MSC, sailed it, love it, totally love it. But it is very, or I've always sailed it out of Europe, and it's, at least on those sailings, it's much more of a European cruise. I mean, dinner is a set time, but I love it. Jason, I totally agree with you, especially now. Book at the very last minute. Very, what? Did I go away?
No, I'm Justin. It's not a big deal. Go ahead.
Go at the very last minute, and I just wouldn't do anything right now. I would just sit back and wait. If there's going to be deals, they're going to be coming later when the ship lines are going to be pushed into real financial troubles, and they've got to show that they can raise capital by filling cabins. So the emptier we keep the cabins, the emptier promises we make for those cabins, the better the deal is going to come sometime down in the future. Texas Wildcat, that's why you're saying book now and don't worry. I say this is our time as a group of passengers, especially solos. Let's put the pressure on them. Let's make it a little tough for them, because they've been living high on the hog with us. Look at the money that they've made over the years, and they've made a lot of that on us as solo travelers. It's time for them to let's put them to the fire a little bit. That's my personal opinion.
Yeah, I mean, I would say thank you, John, for that. I agree with everyone says. I mean, for me, it's never easy booking solo for the first time. I went on the Emerald Princess first of all, had a fantastic cruise, but no real solo program. I think if you are going to cruise, first of all, for your first time, it really is worth cruising with a cruise line that does have a solo program. And the reason for me, I do believe, by the way, I agree with you there, John. I think the prices will come down for next year. I think Jonathan has found that already, that he's managed to find a decent deal now. So there'll be one or two decent deals you can find now, but otherwise be patient until you find the best deal possible. And the reason why it's really amazing to cruise solo, it's the people I meet. It's everyone I meet. This is the reason why I cruise solo. It's just incredible. You just meet so many amazing people. It's one of the best things you're going to do if you are a solo cruiser. Thank you everybody who's watching this live on Facebook, on YouTube, really appreciate you watching. We've still got a decent gang watching. Most of all, I want to say a huge thank you to Chile in America, to Jonathan in the UK, to Justin in America. Hope to cruise you again, Justin. To Cynthia, thank you so much for coming on board again. And of course to John, who I met on the Epic. We could not do it this without you. We're kind of the Cruise Amigos. The Cruise Amigos means we're all friends. We're cruise friends. And I'm just going to end the broadcast now. So guys, if you want to say goodbye to everybody, thank you for watching. Bye guys. Bye everybody.
See you.